Hello, good evening. Today is Thursday, June 4th, 2026. This is the regular meeting of the Cupertino Parks and Recreation Commission. This is a hybrid meeting, and this meeting will be recorded. So for members to the public who are listening through the Zoom call, this particular application will notify you when the meeting is recorded. So please make sure that you press continue to stay on the meeting. Use the raise hand feature in the Zoom in case if you would like to speak on an item. And also lower your hand once you are done with the comments. Please unmute when called to speak and mute yourself when you're done speaking. And if you're calling in by phone, please identify yourself by name before speaking on an item. And press star 9 on the phone to raise and lower your hand. Press star 6 if you are participating by phone to unmute. And again, speakers are limited to 3 minutes and the staff will track that. With that, so welcome to the June 4th, 2026 Cupertino Park and Recreation Commission meeting. I now call the meeting to order at 7:01. Roll call, staff, will please conduct the roll call.
Commissioner Bono,
Here.
Janet,
Here.
Commissioner Kwame,
Here.
Vice Chair Screegen,
Here.
Chair Kamarkon,
Here. Thank you, staff. And moving on to the first item of the business, and this is the ceremonial matters and presentation. But before we move on, there are some requests since there are that many guests, as well as there are other folks that are presenting here. I would like to do a formal motion, but I would like to move the subject number 2, which is the Park and Rec Department Marketing and Communications, to later in the agenda in the new business area, so that it gives a space for the first presentation, and then we will be getting on to oral communication, given that a lot of community members are here. So that's what I'm thinking of it. I had a discussion with the staff, so I plan to make a motion. I can make a motion, right, staff? So I make a motion to move the item number 2, which is the Park and Rec Department Marketing and Communication item, to later in the agenda, especially after the new business, which is item number 4.
I second it.
And the staff, you want to voting on that, right?
yes. Commissioner Bono.
Aye.
Commissioner Stanek,
Yes.
Commissioner Kwame,
Yes.
Vice Chair Screegen,
Yes.
Chair Kamarkon,
Yes.
motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Excellent. So with that, so let's move on to the first item in the ceremonial matters and presentations, grassroots knowledge. And I would like, who's presenting? Oh, please.
Thank you.
Stage is yours, the podium
Thank
is
you,
yours,
Chair. We'll
everything.
Up to the table and get situated. We will go ahead and plug in and get things situated. Well, we're plugging in. If you guys would like to introduce yourself, but we have Alex and Stephanie here, with Roots Ecology. And they have a present.
Yes, thank you for having us. As I said, I'm Alex Von Felt. I'm one of the co-executive directors of Grassroots Ecology, and I've been leading the organization since we were founded, and even before that, when we were part of a different organization. So I've been around since we've started working with Cupertino in 2012.
And I'm Stephanie. I'm the project manager for our restoration at Mullen Ranch Nature Preserve. Has everyone been there, or has anyone been there before? Oh, great. Okay. Many of you been there? Yeah. Oh, perfect. No, why do I need to give this?
Send me your description.
I will, yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, I'm the project manager for this restoration site at McClellan Ranch. And we're from Grassroots Ecology. So if you're not familiar with Grassroots, we're an environmental restoration nonprofit with different sites around the South Bay. And our mission is to engage and educate the public to restore local ecosystems. The main way we do that is by planting California native plants and increasing biodiversity and all the ecosystem benefits that come with it. And we make a point to cultivate good relationships with the community around each site. And that's how we built a strong volunteer base that's really at the heart of all of the work that we do. And we also grow all of the plants that we use for our restoration in our own native plant nursery. And we source the seed for the plants at each project from their respective watersheds to preserve local plant population adaptations. You can go to the next one. So here's where McClellan Ranch is. It's kind of off of Foothill Boulevard below Linda Vista Park. And it's down the street from Monta Vista High School. So I think most of you know it. And here's an aerial shot of the main meadow. So the preserve overall is 18 acres. And we're mainly stewarding the 7-acre meadow that you see here. And Stevens Creek runs around the edge of the preserve. So we're hoping that one day this whole meadow will be covered with California native plant habitat. And this is a ground level view of the front of the meadow from the parking lot. And then if you go to the next slide, here on the nature trail, you'll walk along Stevens Creek and enjoy this nice riparian habitat that we have. Next one. Before the city took over the property in the 1970s, it had been used for different agricultural purposes and most recently as a horse ranch. So it was a pretty degraded site. The soil was very compacted. Not a lot of plants could grow there other than weeds. There were some mature trees like coast live oaks and western sycamores that are still there, probably well over 100 years old. But in the main meadow, it was just a seed leaf and not a lot of native perennials could go through those dense weeds. So today I want to show you how we went from this meadow filled with thistles and weeds to a healthier, more biodiverse habitat. So at the start, the meadow was completely composed of non-native grasses, Italian thistle, and some short pod mustard. And that's still what you'd see if you were looking outside of our restoration plots. And then in the next picture, do you see those tiny white flags kind of in the back of the meadow there? Those are marking thousands of bunch grasses and native perennials that we started putting in the next year. And then a few years later, you can see how the plants are starting to fill in and getting a little bit taller. And then if you go to the next photo, so here's the zoomed in photo of the pre-planting site. And then to now, this is that same perspective. And you can see there's a variety of colors and flowers and textures, and there's just a lot of visual diversity that's so different than it was before. Our work at McClellan is active restoration, which means we're consistently monitoring and caring for the preserve as a whole. So at the start of every month, we do a walkthrough of the whole meadow and of the nature trail to see what activities, restoration tasks we need to prioritize every week. And that shows it's a lot more than just planting, setting, and forgetting. We're there consistently to see what's going on and what things need. And it's different from maybe like a mitigation site or a large agency that might have to cover a lot of different restoration sites and maybe doesn't have the staff or the time to monitor everyone very closely. Whereas what we're doing is closely following this one site to maximize the habitat health and the quality of what's there. We're able to do that because we're continuously involved. A big component of our work is invasive species management. So the weeds that we're dealing with McClellan are weeds that are also widespread in the area around here. And seeds can remain in the soil and stay viable for years after they've been dropped. So this is a picture of like a giant patch of milk thistle. And for scale, my coworker there, Jeremy, he's 6 feet tall. So I think this is a dramatic picture of what this place could look like and did look like without some active stewardship. Invasive plants are defined as plants that are not native to a region, and they've been studied enough to show that they're having a net negative impact on the ecosystem. So they have a lot of characteristics in common usually. They tend to sprout really quickly. They form really dense monocultures, like dense stands, and they produce many seeds, so it compounds the problem very quickly. So this is a close-up of milk thistle, that purple flower there. And you can see it turns into a ball of fluff, and all of those little seeds, it's kind of like dandelion, where it just gets carried by the wind. And a patch like what you saw behind Jeremy there, that could form within a year. We actively manage for dozens of invasive species, and these are kind of like the highest priority ones. And our strategies for each vary depending on the life history and the ecology of each one. So we factor in like where it grows, how it grows, and we prioritize what we're doing with them based on how much impact we can have and the time of year. The realistic goal, the realistic goal for invasive species is not to completely eliminate it, but to create enough space where native plant populations can come back and establish sustainable patches of their own. We don't use herbicide, so it's all manual removal. And it's pretty straightforward for plants that form one taproot, kind of like a carrot. So things like thistle, mustard, poison hemlock. We have to pull it out somehow, and that can be really challenging depending how big it is, but it is pretty simple. For a lot of the creek weeds, like what you see on the left there, so that's my coworker pulling out like one long strand of probably vinca. A lot of things like vinca, Cape ivy, they're forming rooting stems like all around. And so you have to pull up as much as you can, but because it's a dense network, you're never gonna get it all. So the goal is really to clear as much as we can within a given time frame because we don't want to disturb nesting birds. And then we'll usually have to revisit a particular patch within, I don't know, in 2 to 3 years to start pulling it again as it's trying to fill back in. But hopefully in that time, we've created enough space for native plants to come back and establish healthy populations. And then for grasses, we do have an electric weed whip, so that's our one assist. It's otherwise all manual. And again, we're trying to time it carefully. So we're mowing grasses before the seeds have matured. And we're sort of trying to like spot reduce the number of invasive seeds that are closest to our plants. A lot of managing vegetation is also very helpful for fire mitigation. So when you have tall stands of dead, dry annual grasses or dead woody material, that can be kind of flammable. And sometimes we'll invite staff to help us do bigger projects. And this is actually where we needed to get the San Jose Conservation Corps involved because they have power tools. So they helped us clear this really dense stand of cotoneaster, which is a tall woody species that gets right to the perfect height to start a crown fire if that were ever to happen. It's the worst kind of fire to have. So now that it's all cleared, they chipped it, we've told them which ones to get. It's replanted with native plants. And even we're also managing for some of our native plants that might pose fire risk. So coyote brush is a species that we love for its habitat benefits, but it can get so large and sprawly that it can take over a site and it can accumulate a lot of dead woody material. So again, we had the Conservation Corps come in and we marked specific plants that we wanted them to thin and chip. And then we created more space for more biodiversity. The next big component of what we do is revegetation with native plants. So this is where we get to think as ecologists about where we want to expand our plantings in the meadow and what species we want to put there. You can go to the next one. So this is a brand new plot that we mulched this last spring, and we're preparing it for planting this winter. So every year you can go to the next one. We either start a new plot or we add plants to an existing plot. And the goal is that over time, all of these plots will merge together and create contiguous wildlife habitat. We concentrate our planting in the rainy season, so that way there's a lot of natural rainfall to help roots get established, and we're basically following nature's cues. So by the time they get to the warm season, they're happy and healthy, and we're not doing a lot of additional watering past that first summer. And one of the most exciting things has been watching wildlife respond to all of the native habitat we created. So one of our rangers, Austin, took this amazing picture of a black-chinned hummingbird that's sipping nectar from a sticky monkey flower. And this is a bird that Santa Clara Valley Bird Alliance, our neighbors at McClellan, they told me they've never seen it attempt to nest along the Stevens Creek Trail until a couple of years ago. So I think the quality habitat that we're building is having real results for these animals. And that's kind of the beauty of native plants. They've co-evolved with the wildlife here, so they provide higher quality resources than other plants could. So they're not really interchangeable with just anything you can pick up from someone's nursery. And what we're doing, especially for insects, which are the base of the food chain, a lot of them aren't very specific about what plants they're foraging on. So the wider diversity of plants you have, the more insects you can support, and then you're supporting everything else that depends on them for food. Oh, actually, I wanted to say one more thing about the milkweed in that picture. So some of the insects that we're seeing return, also they depend on one particular plant. Otherwise, if you don't, so example for milkweed, if you don't have milkweed, you don't get monarch butterflies. So some of those relationships, those co-evolved plant animal relationships are obligate, which means that they're essential to each other.
And we're seeing monarchs in the meadow now.
A lot of them, yeah. We're also deliberate about selecting plants that flower in different seasons to maximize the amount of time that we're providing resources. So everything here flowers in a different season. And if you come at any time of the year, you'll see something blooming and something foraging on it. And what we do in the meadow is also impacting the health of our aquatic ecosystem. So a lot of insects start their lives in the water in the Stevens Creek and then forage as adults in the meadow. So like this 8-spotted skimmer dragonfly here, the fact that we're seeing a higher predatory insect like this indicates that we've got pretty good water quality, and then they're finding good foraging grounds in the meadow. Our plants also provide some natural filtering and protection for Stevens Creek. So this is a plot at the edge of the meadow between the community garden and Stevens Creek. And this, before we planted this a few years ago, it was full of poison hemlock and some questionable soil that was dumped there when they remodeled the community garden. And we weren't sure what it could have been contaminated with. We were little, and the 4-H kids were worried about poison hemlock getting into their ranch. So we cleared it, we sheet mulched over it, and then now, you can go to the next slide. This is what it looks like. And all of these plants have different root systems or growing to different levels in the ground. So they're able to take up any potential pollutants and kind of neutralize things in the ground that might get to the creek otherwise. So that's called phytoremediation.
Just real quick, when we say pollutants, we're talking about some of the runoff from the 4-H, so it's like natural animal manure, but you're cleaning before it gets to the creek.
I'm sorry, how much time do I have left? I wasn't checking this.
Another couple minutes.
Okay, all right. There's too much to cover. We do so much. But this is our team. It's a team of 4, me, my coworker Maya, and then 2 college interns. And as amazing as our team is, we could not do this alone. So like I mentioned, volunteers are at the heart of our organization, and you can go to the next slide. They help with every part of the restoration process, from planting to pruning. You can keep going. And so since 2012, we've done 950 volunteer events. We've planted thousands of native plants. I think this equated to about 1 volunteer event per week for the last 14 years. And you can go to the next one. And it takes many hands to plant as many plants as we have, and you keep going. You can go a little faster. Sorry. Talking too long, but so the sheet mulching process alone, we need a lot of people collecting cardboard, pulling off the plastic stickers, and then to the next one, you can see like you have to lay it out like a puzzle, cover it with mulch. That's not something that 4 people can do in any reasonable time scale. So we really do depend on the community. And we've also, in addition to doing public volunteer events once a month, we've created our own in-house programs to help support the work we do. So we have our high school youth stewards program twice a year. It's where kids from this district come for 8 weeks at a time in the spring and then in the summer, and they help us with our restoration tasks. And we do naturalist education and keep going. We have our own college internship program where they get a California naturalist certification. We have seniors volunteer days that happen seasonally. We're not going to do it want them over here. You go to the next one. And then we built a lot of ongoing relationships with local service organizations and schools like Helios, Monte Vista, Menlo School. They're a little bit further out, but they love coming back. And De Anza College too. It's not just the volunteers that have really noticed and appreciated all of the hard work that they've done. Because it's such a public preserve and a popular walking spot, I've been getting a lot of good feedback lately in particular because of this garden, from the public. So, I think we're creating something really special here and, it's been so rewarding to become a part of the community. And you can go to the last one. And this is the best time to see it because it's peak spring bloom. So if any of you ever want to come visit and I can give you a more in-depth tour, I'd be happy to. Thank you.
But they just wanted to read like the phone numbers.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't feel like I properly introduced the group, so sorry, on the little technology issue there, but thank you so much. Your passion comes through. It's been a pleasure communicating with you guys over the last couple months preparing for this. I just wanted to set the stage a little bit for why Grassroots Ecology is here tonight. So as you know, your work plan included many items, and one of them was to have our partner agencies come and present an annual report. So luck of the draw, Grassroots Ecology is the first one to come to present this calendar year to the group on just the partnership that they have with the city and what the positive value they're bringing to the community, in particular at McClellan and along the watershed. There really is no commission action, although we'll take questions and that sort of thing, but it is truly just a report out and an opportunity for you to become more aware of the different partners that we have and the great work that they're doing. So hopefully that's a little bit better setting of the stage. Sorry, now that we're getting.
No, it's okay. That's fine, so.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it. And then I'm sure that we'll have some clarification questions and comments, so if you could wait on it, so.
Yeah.
I already see 4 or 5, no, it's only one.
No.
Two. Okay, so that's what it is. So, thank you. So Commissioner, there's a clarifying questions section and then public comment, and then we'll come for the comments. So any questions? Yeah,
Yes,
Commissioner Bob.
thank you for your presentation, first and foremost. Well, I won't only speak for myself and nobody else, but I know how to plant tomatoes, but that's all I can do. I always forget to water them. So, it sounds to me, and my clarifying question, it sounds to me, and again, maybe educate me, because a lot of people are listening, wants to know. At the end of the day, if you took a quiz and a poll for every resident, do you know the difference between native and non-native?
Yeah.
It's hard to identify because I'm not known. And my question would be, is a question goes after, is clarifying
No,
question?
clarifying questions now,
Okay.
only
so-
comments later.
Okay, so that is, when you mention also when there was some soil that were dumped, does that happen often? Is
No.
that an issue to consider, or because obviously it takes a lot of energy, time, effort, maybe money in order to ensure that the soil at the end is not contaminated, so it creates more questions than anything else when I hear these kind of comments.
Yeah.
So I'd like to find out if you can clarify that so that we can leave them. Find out
Yes.
if there is nothing that we
Yeah.
can take action, especially after maybe the council, I don't know. And while you respond to that, I'm gonna look at my other clarifying.
Sure, yeah. So when they remodeled or rebuilt the community garden that was originally there from the 1970s, I think there were some materials and some of the old soil in the existing beds that got dumped to the side of where the new garden is now. So it's kind of the very edge of the meadow. And I don't know what was in it. I don't want to say that for sure that's contaminated soil, but it had been fertilized and farmed for a really long time. So whatever is in there is different from kind of the existing native soil that we would be working with. And so when I'm talking about phytoremediation, just kind of whatever you might not know is in that soil is going to be taken up at the root system of plants. And that's kind of the amazing thing about plants is they can do so much to kind of rehabilitate soil just by growing. So that's what I'm thinking, but I don't think there's like a concern about toxicity. Yeah.
I just wanted to clear. Perfect. Commissioner Swami.
Thank you. We have had so many discussions on native and non-native plants
Yeah.
within and I'm so glad that you guys are actually so actively on this. It seems like a rather large piece of land for four of you. Do you have enough volunteers? Do you need more volunteers? Where is the gap? And resources per se, because this is amazing work.
Thank you. We have lots of volunteers. Do we need more?
No, I would say that, for the most part,
Mhm.
all of our volunteer events get sold out, meaning that they get filled up at capacity, and we even have wait lists.
Oh my
So
God.
the most of the
that's-
feedback we get from people are, why can't you do more events?
Yeah.
And of course, the answer is because it takes staff to make sure that the volunteers are organized safely and that they're doing the right things, pulling right
Mhm.
plans and not. So that's what limits us a
Yeah.
bit. But I mean, it is amazing how much community engagement is at the site. I mean, in addition to like what the city gives for us to do this work, we
How much do you
actually
get from the city?
about a little over 100,000 a year. And then we also, Grassroots Ecology gets some additional grant funding to augment what we're doing so that we can plant more plants and do like,
Where do you get that from and how much do you get?
uh, well, a number of different sources. Over the year, Valley Water has been a good funder of different restoration throughout there. Part of it, like we said, to manage the runoff from the 4-H before it gets to the creek, the pollinator garden that Stephanie showed at the end. And then there's also foundations, and then Grassroots Ecology raises money from individual donors to augment all of our education programs, because that's what a lot of our donors and family foundations are really interested in, especially like the program that Stephanie mentioned.
So you are
Awesome.
well resourced financially and what?
Oh, we can always use more. We're a nonprofit. I mean,
Yeah.
and also we can always do more because what's wonderful is we have a nice partnership with AmeriCorps. And we have so many of them coming through. And then after the end of their term, they'd like to stay on. So I know there's actually, there's a lot, there's more we could do. I'll just say that.
I just typed the question. Can I? Want to
Yeah.
ask a question?
one more.
I just typed a question on invasive insects, and then I saw your presentation, said, oh, we have invasive insects, that means we have enough of the local one. Good training. But seriously, are you not worried about invasive insects coming in?
We don't spend a lot of time.
It's
Like-
just the mussels in the creek, or what are those ones called? They want us to look out for Valley Water. But yeah.
Oh,
it's-
I don't.
Yeah, the insects so much, they're not,
They're not such an issue for you.
no.
No, we're really focusing on the plants, and I mean, yeah, I think.
What I'm trying to ask is, do you get do your plants get diseases often?
Oh,
What do
from
you do with them?
other insects? Not that I've really.
Ground
seen.
squirrels love to eat them.
Yeah.
Go first.
There are things like invasive shot hole borer that we're kind of like keeping an eye out for. Like Valley Water has given us a little bit of information about that, but really we're focused at the plant level and kind of what we're supporting. I haven't seen anything that's concerned me coming in with them. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So Commissioner Stanley.
Thank you. Yes, I think I just want to follow on because you got to where my question was, what's your business model? And is Grassroots Ecology, you just here at McClellan Ranch or you're much bigger and you're doing other things?
We're not that much bigger, but we do have about 20 restoration sites throughout southern San Mateo and northern Santa Clara counties. But it's all public land and usually parks and open spaces. And so the model is the same, where we're leveraging the energy of the community to help us achieve a lot of these habitat goals. And also, people come out, like a lot of people come because they need to get volunteer hours, let's say for something, and then they come back because they feel a connection with the land, a connection with the community, they, enjoy themselves and things like that. So even like, not only does the city get the benefit of some of this other funding that I was talking about, but all of that volunteer labor. I think the last time I did a presentation came out to the city gets about 2x of what the investment is because of all these other things in play.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, I
Thank
had a feeling that this was just a little piece that you're showing us
It's
here.
a little piece, it's a pretty major one.
Yeah.
But, it's, the meadow restoration has been really successful.
So, yeah, I walk there every day and I see you guys.
Great.
Yeah, Commissioner Shrikant.
I have a quick question. I'm not sure if I heard it well. Did you say grassroots ecology is a nonprofit or for profit?
Oh, nonprofit.
Nonprofit.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, a 501c3 for nonprofit.
awesome. Great job. Thank you so much.
Chair, do you have
Thank
any
you.
questions? If not, I have one follow.
Okay, so we can.
Point of order quickly, because first was clarifying questions.
Yeah.
When do we
That's
start
fine.
questions?
That's fine.
No, clarifying questions. So do we get
I do
more?
have two questions.
Okay,
Yes,
we can.
because I want to learn myself.
Yeah.
I'm listening to all the native, non-native, and I see the ongoing battle. Person, for me, I'm asking you, and I know it sounds dumb, but again, I don't take care of plants in my life. Someone else does for me. Are we going against nature? Because like I said, it seems that there's an ongoing effort all the time, and I understand that we want to keep the native because we want to protect the ecosystem, blah, 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 but are we going against nature in a way?
Oh, like kind of fighting the inevitable?
Yes.
I don't think so, because I think the point of active restoration is to kind of reverse some of the historic damage that has been done and kind of, people bringing plants from other continents and over such huge distances. That's a pretty recent thing, and it has changed the course of our environmental outlook, right? But now that's what we have to work with. So I think going forward, this is how we can keep shifting things a little bit rather than losing our ecosystem benefits forever, because it definitely is worth keeping. And again, we're at a point in time where you're really never going to be rid of a plant if it is at the status of being invasive, but you can clear enough of it away to make space for our native plant populations to come back and compete well. So that's really, it's like getting them to the point where they're sort of coexisting and competing, and we're not losing something that is really critical to thousands of years of essential relationships that have been built.
And in your response, you almost responded to my second question, wondering if the non-native plants were planted by resident or brought in by resident, which questions also, we obviously are renting to resident area where they can put vegetables and this and that. Does that come, and that stems from there as
It's
well?
from all different ways. Some things were brought in from the nursery trade and people didn't realize that it could escape their garden. And then like vinca, as an example, periwinkle was a really popular landscaping plant in the 70s and the 80s. And you still see it planted on medians a lot, but it's now basically infested every single waterway in the county. And even, I think, maybe the whole state. Because I remember reading reports from Northern California. So a lot of things, yes, were ornamental plants that people didn't realize, could go out with their compost, or maybe birds pick up seeds and then drop them somewhere. Some things came in from like Spanish settlement times, or a lot of our invasive grasses, like the Golden Hills of California, they weren't originally like that because all of these annual grasses came over from Europe because they were there to feed livestock. Most of our California grasses are bunch grasses and they're perennials, so they would stay pretty green throughout the year. So that's like more of a historic byproduct. So they're all different ways. And sometimes people confuse plants. Like there was even a disastrous case with a salt marsh restoration where they were bringing in a plant that they thought was a native plant, but when it was that small, it looked like an invasive relative of that plant. And then the invasive species got introduced that way. So there are a lot of different ways that invasive species can come. Yeah.
And last but
so-
not least, that's not a question.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you
We
for
might
keeping-
assist you.
Thank you for keeping the butterflies here.
Maybe one more question, because it's already 40 minutes on this item, so let's.
34.
I
let's-
don't,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I don't have a question, just to respond to Commissioner.
No response.
Comment about.
Oh, no. We'll come back to the comment section.
I do have a question, and it's a very important one. I don't know if this should be directed to the city staff or here. I'll just say it, you can tell me where it should be.
Is it a question?
It is a question.
Comments, and we can
No,
bring it
no,
later.
it's not a comment, it is a question. So we have a lot of parks within Cupertino, and we also have the walkway on Stepney, the Lawrence Mitty walkway that we have. So there are plants over there. Some of them have, since you guys have so much resources and overflowing with volunteers, and you're turning away volunteers. It might not be such a bad idea to just take a quick look around and say, and give your assessment. Since you're passionate about this, I feel very strongly about this. Because, for example, to ask the question again, eucalyptus was introduced, it's completely destroyed all the other plants. So ivy is certainly one of them, and I do see quite a bit of it on the Lawrence Mitty trail. So if that's something to consider, the city staff, I don't know where that fits, but this is wonderful. What you guys are
Sure.
doing is just perfect.
Okay, so thank you, and then,
That's it.
yeah, so.
Sorry,
if
and
there's
one
no-
last thing is, can you also do a program in your own McClellan, so you educate people about their own gardens? What's native and what's non-native and what they should potentially be removing?
We do have signs for some of our native plants, like along the.
And you've been doing those presentations at the library.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, really appreciate it. If there's no more clarifying questions, I think we need to open this for public comments as well. In case if anybody raise their hands on the Zoom or for this particular item.
We have no speakers, Chair.
Thank you. That means I'll close the public comment now. It's for the comments, public comments over. Now it's for the commissioners. If you have any comments on this particular one. Earlier you asked for clarification questions. Now it's time for
Yeah.
making any comments. Any?
Just
None?
leave your phone number.
Just a follow-up, I walk there every day with my dog, you know, and we stay on the dog path, you know, we're allowed to stay. But, you know, I see you in there with the volunteers, you know, on a particular day or morning with groups, either the Rotary or schools or the AmeriCorps, and I hope that you can continue to get AmeriCorps, because I know that program's cut a lot. And, so I just want to thank you for everything you do and how you engage the community and are helping us make that.
Yeah,
this-
I feel very
Thank you
strongly
much.
about this. Thank you.
Commissioner Bona.
Yeah, I'll make a comment to say, first of all, thank you for your presentation. I think that the word itself always scares people because I don't care about parks and recreational plans. I don't know anything, but I think education will always remain. Maybe a social media post, what is native, what is non-native, maybe interact with people to educate them nonstop, like Commissioner mentioned. I think an ongoing education is needed, and hopefully you may want to consider that, because people would like to be in part of the understanding on why we do things a certain way. But thank you for your presentation. Thank you.
Commissioner Srikanth.
Yeah, I just would like to add a comment because it was brought up. The McClellan Ranch community assignments. There was a question, we were wondering if whether people are planting wrong things. I'm a owner of one of those plots. There are very strict rules about what we can plant, what we cannot plant, and also the city staff, Kayla, is always watching and catching. And even with the weed, you cannot let it grow. She makes sure that people take care of their own plants and around.
That's all.
It's great.
Thank you. Any other comments from commissioners? Good. If no other comments, thank you so much, Stephanie and Alex. It's awesome. Fantastic.
Thank you,
Appreciate your
it's
time.
a pleasure. And
So we'll move to the next item on the business, but since we made the subject item number 2 later, then now the next item on the agenda is approval of minutes. Item number 3, subject May 7th, 2026 Park and Recreation Commission. And the action is to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 7 Parks and Recreation.
Seconded.
And staff.
Commissioner Bono,
Aye.
Commissioner Standick,
Yes.
Commissioner Swamy,
Yes.
Vice Chair Shrikin.
I was absent.
Okay, so do you abstain?
I read through the minutes, I'm fine, no questions.
But you will be abstaining because
Yeah.
you were not there.
Yes.
And Chair Markham,
Yes.
the motion carries with Vice Chair Shrikin abstaining.
But I read this one, even, is this open for public comments too? Because after the new one, no, the new procedure. It says public comment for this item.
We can do public comment for this item. It's not traditional, but we can do it.
Yeah, because it was, as per the new thing, it was described as, is there any public comments on it? So is there any public comments and any hands raised in that?
Okay. We have no speakers, sir.
Awesome. If that's the case, let's close the public comment on this too. This should have been done before the motion, but I made a mistake, so it's all done. Good, thank you. Is there any postponements?
We have no postponements, sure.
Excellent. Okay, now let's go to the oral communications. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons wishing to address the commission on any matter within the jurisdiction of the commission and not on the agenda item. And speakers are limited to 3 minutes. In most cases, state law will prohibit the commission from making any decisions with respect to a matter not on the agenda. The commissioner staff may briefly respond to the statements made or questions posed, and the commission may request staff to report back at a subsequent meeting. As a reminder, comments can also be emailed to Park and Recreation Commission at cupertino.gov. If any member of the public would like to make comments, please fill out. I think you already filled it out here. I see it. Staff, let's go through it. I don't ask whether we have it. I see a lot of blue cards on the table and the people in the room. So let's listen.
We have 2 speakers in person and 1 speaker remotely. Our first speaker is Dina Horace, followed by Marshall, followed by Minna Zhu. Welcome, Dina.
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
Good evening. My name is Dina Horath and I'm a Cupertino resident. I know you're making decisions that will affect pickleball at Memorial Park, so I'd like to share my story and explain why this community is so important to me. I'm a self-proclaimed klutz. I was never athletic. Riding a bike was a major accomplishment, and going to the gym felt like as enjoyable as having a tooth pulled. Then I discovered pickleball. At first, I played at other courts, but I always had to find a foursome before I could play. As a result, I didn't get on the court very often. Everything changed when I was introduced to Memorial Park. The system there was simple. You put your paddle down, and when a court opened up, the next 4 paddles played. I hardly knew anyone when I started, but it didn't take long before I felt like I was part of the group. Today, those players are some of my closest friends. Sometimes I feel like Norm from Cheers. I walk up and I hear, Dina, Dina, Dina. We don't just play pickleball together. We go to dinner, meet for happy hours, host pop, do crafts, and support one another. For many of us, pickleball was just how we met. What keeps us coming back are our friendships we've built and the people we've come to care about. What started as a game has grown into a community that feels more like family. I don't want to imagine what would happen if too many restrictions were placed on play. It wouldn't just reduce court time, it would disrupt our relationships and our support network. That means far more than just a place to play. And I also want to emphasize that we care deeply about the neighbors. We understand that the noise can be frustrating and irritating, and we want a solution that works for everyone. The most effective way to address this issue is to install the noise barriers as soon as possible. Our neighbors have been waiting far too long and they deserve relief. We support taking action now so that both the surrounding residents and the pickleball players can continue to enjoy Memorial Park and the sense of connection it brings to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dina. Our next speaker
Marshall, followed by Mizzou. Welcome, Marshall.
Thank you. And thank you for hearing us out on this topic. My name is Marshall Maple. I'm a Cupertino resident. I've moved to Cupertino in 94. I moved to California in 81. I moved to Cupertino for the schools. And my kids went K through 12, graduated from Monte Vista, and they said the UCs were easier than high school. So congratulations to you guys for drawing that. You know, I have a very active lifestyle from the very beginning. I moved here from Ohio because I wanted to ski. The mountains in Ohio are not distant, right? But, you know, there's pickleball, hockey, volleyball, you name your sport. I have some activity. You know, the big thing is I started playing pickleball. I took lessons at the sports center in Cupertino, probably a little over 3 years ago. Then I started playing. I watched the transformation of the courts here at Memorial Park. It was one court, you had your nets, you had to drag them out. It was good for practicing, not so much for playing. And now it's 8 courts that are really actively pursued with people. And, you know, I think the whole thing is really neat. Dina outlined that, the whole social aspect. I've gone to Mitchell Park in Palo Alto, Mackenzie Park in Los Altos, Rengstorff. I frequented all of them for quite a while, but I've settled in on coming to Memorial Park because of the bench area that lets the people collect in between the games. There's 8 courts, there's probably 8 courts of people sitting there, and you get to meet all sorts of people. And I have formed lots of friendships out of it. I think the socialization aspect of it can't be lost in this whole thing. And, you know, it builds a sense of community here. You know, I guess the big thing is there's noise. There's no doubt. There's a pop on the paddle. You know, so the pickleball committee here, CPC as we call them, you know, actively works with the neighbors. They've talked to them and they understand the morning hours were the most offensive to them. They implemented, got everyone to use quiet paddles in the morning hours. I mean, that was proactively on their own just to try and address that. So we're working with them, you know, in a good neighbor aspect of it. But what we've learned recently is there's a proposal to change the playtime. Get rid of Monday, force quiet paddles all the time. There's also, which will break down the whole ecosystem that you've established with this. And I think the point that we want to get is we have a proactive group here that will work the issues, that will meet you, will work through the process, but we don't want to be left out. What we understand, the neighbors hadn't heard about these rules, we hadn't heard about these rules, and these changes will have a severe impact on the ability to play there. So with that, I ask you to keep us involved, and thank you for hearing.
Thank you, Marshall. And our next speaker is Mizzou. Welcome, Minna.
Oh, hello. Hi, my name is Mina. I'm a Cupertino resident. And I was also a Park and Rec Commissioner from 2018 to 2022. And last year, I came to this meeting and asked for the Lawrence Mitty Park schedule because I remember before I left the Park Commission in December 2022, we started the conceptual design for Lawrence Mitty Park. But after that, seems the website was not updated. So last year I asked for the schedule, and thanks for all the staff, all the commissioners. Now I see a very detailed schedule on Cupertino website about the Lawrence Mitty Park. And now I just have some questions. I'm wondering if everything is on schedule now, because there are several milestones this year in 2026. That's in April. The Lawrence Mitty Park should already got the environmental permit, and in August, it should get the city permit. Yeah, so I'm just wondering if it's still on schedule, because I remember at the beginning we target the Lawrence Mitty Park will be completed in 2027. And so, a lot of residents around that area, they're really concerned if this park, everything is still on schedule. And thank you for your effort. Yeah, and we are really happy to see the detailed schedule, and so we can see if everything is still on track. Yeah, that's all. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have no remaining speakers in person or remotely.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for your comments. I think Dina, Marshall, and Nina, so appreciate your time and thank
For
you.
listening.
Sure. Marapan, did you say that we can just make one quick clarifying comment or something? There's nothing.
Unless otherwise it's really important, we cannot make any
It
comments
is.
because this is not an agenda
No,
item.
it's not, because it was something we
Okay.
brought
Oh,
up.
yeah.
I think it is important to, because the issue came up about the timing restrictions. I don't believe it came in any
Yeah.
of the commission meetings, is all I'm saying, that even we are in the dark.
Yeah.
So does that mean it won't go into effect?
No, we will not discuss
No,
that.
no, we cannot discuss it.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Yeah, so I think it's under the city council, as you know, on June 16th, there will be a discussion on the budget. And this particular item is on that one, on June 16th. That's for your information. Just want to let you know.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for raising your concerns and sharing with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Chair, we have another person just raise their hand on Zoom for oral communication.
Let's go. Yeah, I haven't closed it yet, so
Okay,
please.
so our next speaker's name is Kara. One more time of the speaker's name. The speaker's name is Arif. Welcome, Arif.
Hey there. Thank you. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, please.
Awesome. Good evening, everyone. My name is Arif Sheikh, and I'm a resident of Cupertino. I wanted to log on tonight just to share my perspective on our pickleball courts over at Memorial Park. When my family and I first started playing, we thought we were just picking up a fun hobby, but it has really become a vital anchor for us. Like every family today, our lives are busy with works, school, and daily schedules. While we value our time together at home, the pickleball court has given us a completely unique extra connection point. In fact, some weeks I think we share more deep laughs and high fives on the court than we even manage around the dinner table or otherwise. It's a dedicated space where we can step away from a daily rush, away from screens, and enjoy being a family. It doesn't replace the time we spend together at home. It actually amplifies it, adding a level of shared fun and energy that has truly enriched our lives. But that's just half the story. The true magic of these codes is the unique community that we have, and it's growing. It's one of the rare places in our township where age, background, and ethnicity doesn't matter. On any given day, you'll see teenagers partnering with retirees and neighbors who have lived here for decades welcoming people who just moved to the area. We were the newbies a couple of years back, and I was welcomed. It's become this amazing micro neighborhood where everyone looks forward to seeing each other, catching up between games, or having good time together. It's transformed a simple public facility into a vibrant, welcoming hub that gives everyone who plays there a profound sense of local belonging. Public spaces are meant to bring people together, and I want to commend the township because these codes are exactly doing that and much more. So I really hope you will keep supporting the pickleball codes, specifically by not reducing the playing time, because that will really be counterproductive to what we have going there. I also hope the city council votes in favor of the sound barrier, a win-win solution for all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Arif. We have no remaining speakers, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Eric. And so if there's no more kind of people on it, so let me close the oral communications. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to the next item, old business. Do we have any? No old business, right, Stan? Okay, then on to the new business. Item number 4, the subject is Santa Clara County Library District Story Walk in.
We're supposed to
We're
move
gonna go
back.
back to Zoom?
No, we said after the new business.
Okay.
So initial motion was to move that, let's have a staff person.
I have a question on the motion that we added, because my question is this, the city staff are on the clock? Are they paid out? Are we paying them to stay longer? Because as an employer, I would not want that. It would be rude and it would be on the cost for the city. So
I think you should just ask them. We can take this offline at a later point.
Yeah, but I think it was the original motion when we passed.
I say we've already taken action.
okay,
But I think that's a valid point, Commissioner Bono is bringing up. We will,
And we do have staff presenting in both of the next two presentations, so we're pretty much in the same situation with both, so that
So
might help
staff are
you
in
feel better
both?
about it.
okay, but I think it's a very valid point, Commissioner Bono. We will take that into consideration next time before we move on, any of those juggling agenda items. Thank you.
Why don't
so-
you guys join us at the table really quick and get
Yeah, please.
comfortable while we get the technology set up. Thank you so much for being patiently waiting to be part of our.
And Kylie, before we move on, I just want to read out the recommended action because I want to make sure commissioners are aware. So it's a receive a presentation from the county library district, Santa Clara County Library District, and a rank the 3 potential park locations for installation of the Story Walk initiative for recommendation to the city council. Before we move on, maybe you can outline on what is that ranking, who ranks what, and what the role we are going to play.
Absolutely. We have a
Please.
lot of people at the table.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I have to rank it's too difficult.
Yes, we have a lot of people at the table. So first of all, we have Diane and Karen here that are from the library district. They're technically the ones making the proposal and presenting both tonight, but due to the unique relationship with this program that's being proposed to city council, we also have members of the library commission here. The library commission heard this item last night and has a recommendation to council on the program overall. However, the program overall has a component that involves parks, right? And that's why this commission is involved in that element only, not on bringing the program to Cupertino as much as it is to, if the council should take action to move forward on which location is, ranked and whether they concur with the recommendation of the Parks and Rec Commission. So it's a really unique project that's being involved really 4 different partners: the city, the library district, the library commission, and the Parks and Recreation Commission. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm gonna, do you have anything there?
Kind of still under.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna introduce everybody, but.
Go for it. Please do.
Hi, nice to see you all. My name's Molly James. I'm one of the recreation managers here, and I'm also the liaison to the Library Commission. So that is the role that I am in tonight. And our wonderful library commissioners are very excited about this program. They have been championing. Yep. And so excited for it. And so they have formed a subcommittee to help with the presentation and they will help with the presentation here. And then also, should it move forward to council, they will also be there to answer questions and things like that, should that move forward. And then we also have Diane Roche, who is the Director of County Library Communication and Marketing. And Karen Dixon, who works at our very own Cupertino Library, and she is the, adult supervising librarian, or other way around, supervising adult.
Supervising librarian for adult and teen service.
You got it clear.
Close. And so they will be doing your presentation tonight, and our ask is that you rank, should you choose to move forward, you rank the 3 locations that the city has selected as possible choices.
Okay, thank you. So Karen, before we move on to the presentation, so I haven't seen, so maybe we will listen to it first, and then I wanted to see what the rationale behind the initial proposal, and then I assume that we will rank it after the clarifying questions during the comment section. Is it what I think, right?
I think
Because there's no ranking
Yeah.
sheet or anything, no prior, so I'm not sure.
Correct.
So maybe we'll listen in first, And then we will go on a clarifying questions. And then we will come back to the comment section at the time where we will figure it out how we are going to help rank, right? Or help support the initial ranking, whatever it is. Is that
Perfect.
we can do that? Okay. So if that is the case, let's listen in. This floor is yours, please.
Okay, I think I will start and thank you very much for your time. I want to be sure that I am starting at the right place. So just a show of hands, how many of you are familiar with what a story walk is? Okay,
An idea, but
okay, let me give you a high level. A story walk is an opportunity for us to bring a storybook into a public space. So in this case, it consists of 17 frames, semi-permanent frames that we would install into a location, and we put in pages of a children's picture book. So it encourages families to be able to explore, exercise their bodies as well as their minds to introduce children to stories. And so if we go to why story walks, the Santa Clara County Library District, we have 5 story walks currently installed in 5 of our different cities. And it's a great opportunity for cities and for the library district to partner. What we have seen is that it builds a deeper community connection with their, in this case, a city park is what we would be proposing. It promotes just this healthy lifestyle, again, exercising your brain and your body. We love to encourage families with little ones. Their children's brains are 90% developed by the time they're 5 years old. So the earlier we introduce them to reading, the more opportunity they have to become successful readers. And we really want to encourage that family engagement, getting families to walk around and read with their children. That's the best way to develop readers. And it's a great opportunity to introduce children to new words, to concepts, to get them moving and thinking. You know, because this is how they develop all of the skills that they're going to need to be successful in school as well. And if you want to, I'm going to kind of speed through. You can slow me down if you have questions, but just for sake of timing and respecting your time, I'm going to move kind of quickly. So this map is showing Jack Fisher Park, which is in Campbell, and the ideal criteria for selecting a story walk, a park that is naturally bringing in young families. These are picture books, so we want to have parks that bring in the little ones. You know, we're talking the preschoolers where they are just really getting introduced to words, books, and stories. Starting place, we say, you know, being in parking lot or main entrance, but really it's flexible. Find this light because we can design it to start at a playground. The ideal is to start it somewhere where those young families are going to be naturally congregating. We want to design it around a well-used path so that families, especially if you have strollers with the little ones, they can easily make their way around, and we want to make it in a loop so that is an easy start and end point from wherever they are. Playgrounds are the key. The families are coming to the parks to visit the playgrounds. So designing these around parks where the playgrounds are well attended is really key to our success. Again, there's 17 frames. Why 17? Because most picture books have about 16 spreads. So that is the natural number to accommodate the most number of picture books. And ideal is about 1/3 of a mile to a 1/2 a mile loop. And that's because what we want to do is to design this so that families can see where the next board is. They can see where the next frame is. So it's an easy maneuver around, and it encourages kids to be able to participate directly, to see, to go to the next frame and to get involved. So that is my quick high level introduction to story walks and why we are proposing. And now I would love to turn it over to the Library Commission.
Okay,
Thank you. Thanks for starting up. So my name is Chandra. I'm a vice chair for the Library Commission, and thanks for our commission, the subcommittee, and we get a chance to give our views. And this is prepared based on we don't have any strong like recommendations or like we put the points, but not the ranking. That's we weren't like when we were getting like Molly was assigning that to the commission whether it's interested or not. Then that time we were had a discussion. Should library commission put the ranking? And I think the recommendation was we were basically put the facts, not the recommendation. So it's your job to give a recommendation maybe. So there is 3 parks. We have initial proposal like Jollyman Park, Wilson Park, and Variant Park. These 3 parks were considered. Basically, all those ideal location criteria, which these 3 parks basically satisfying those criteria. When you look at like a young family and visit loop or visit in 1/3 to 1.5 mile, like those kind of requirements is well covered in these choices. And then, so our subcommittee, like Quinn and myself are basically part of this subcommittee. We split it into this park visits. So we went, took pictures, we observed the parking and other facilities, how it looked like, and whether it covers all the criteria, put this report. Okay, so it has both pro and like in terms of strengths and considerations, what could be like consideration that you may need to go through and quick facts. So I will give it to Queen for the Jollyman Park and Wilson Park because she went to there and then put the facts. So
Okay, yeah, thank you. My name is Qing Pan and the library commissioner. Yeah, so thank you for having me here. I just want to stress one fact is, yes, Sennacara, Cupertino Library is the best among the Sennacara County library system. And currently, 5 other cities already installed, only 2 more cities yet to install. So I don't want Cupertino to be the last. So I'm really passionate to moving this project forward in Cupertino. So, and my job here is just to present you with a quick facts. And so for the Jollyman Park, the quick fact is the park and for the baseball court field, basketball, soccer, all inclusive playground, picnic area, and have a nice long circles, like a 1/4 mile to 1/2 mile, maybe more even closer to 1/2 mile walking loop, and the dog off-leash parks. It's in an area near mostly single-family homes and the Deanna College. And the park is located near a BTA bus, route, and along with the bike path, and many parking spaces off the Sterling Road, Tuscan Place, and many other places. So the stress for the Jollyman Park is inclusive, very beautiful playground. And the loop, yeah, it's long, I think is among the longer one among the 3 parks. The Jollyman Park is the longest, supported the 17 frame, and have many parking space and the ADA parks and a strong, existing weekends, very busy. And some considerations and surrounding area mostly are single family homes in Jollyman Park. And it's not that like walkable from other areas to the park for the young children, that shared use sports over the weekend and the dog parks. And then the sign placements must avoid the field events, like what can be seen. And a weekend tournament could be compete with the care your attention or parking, etc. Yeah. So that is useful. It's beautiful. All parks in Cupertino are beautiful. You guys have a good job, best job there. So yeah, next is Wilson Park. So the quick fact about the Wilson Park, there is a community garden. It's a small one, but there is one there, and they have a baseball field, basketball court, newly built, soccer field, playground, picnic area, and the loop, probably the shortest among the 3 parks, is like more close to the 1/3 mile loop, and have a restroom. And it's a very strong walkability from nearby homes and the trails. and surrounded by apartments and condos. Also, the future high density housing nearby. I believe there are many, several nearby high densities which could have more small childrens. And enough parking, off the streets around the area. And the strength is the dense multifamily walkable. That's definitely a strength for the Wilson Park. And one of the border I talk there is actually close to the Regular Trail. So Regular Trail, families walking along the river, they have a nice detour to the park, get the story walk, and continue their walk to the Regular Trail. This is definitely, and so like the community garden audience and good visibility for frequent walking route. Consideration is shorter loop. Like I mentioned, this one has the shortest, maybe a little bit tight. And weekend baseball game, maybe causing parking pressure to the area and less shade. So that is Wilson Park.
Okay, so the variant park, which I went there and I just started putting facts here, right? Like especially the park amenities includes the tennis courts and the playground also, and the group picnic areas also available at the entrance of the park. And it's kind of a large open grass field. It's almost like 1/3 mile of the paved area. So the loop is like kind of a paved. Then the heritage apricot orchard also there, and then like you see the benches and the water foundations. Then there are multiple park entrances there. Like there is 3 different ways to enter into the park, and then the ample parking, like in some with the ADA spaces as well. And it also has the bus connection from the Sterling Road to only thing it's in the west side of Monte Vista side. So the strength over there is like a continuous paved loop around the grass. So obviously it looks very nice in that perspective. And the shades, like there is a lot of big canopy tree out there. So it's basically, it has a mature shade. The heritage orchid adds also telling the good storytelling backdrop there. Then obviously it's more closer to the much residential area, like not like the other high density area. It's very single family areas. The consideration facts that we may need to consider this park, like there are a couple of points. One is the reachability is like mostly when we visited, it's kind of like neighborhood, right? Neighborhood park, not like a Jolly Manor park. So that is one fact that we need to consider. That visitation patterns. Obviously, it's very close to that community, so more often the people will be like known to that park. So the story walk might be like one-time interest, right, for them. That's a fact might be, and then the other parts is like some parts may meet the sand and orchid, right? That's another fact. And also as I mentioned, tennis court that also gets peaks activity at some point of time. So these are some of the points on this park. It's kind of very quiet. Obviously, the very much like a greenish area of the full good field out there. So next. So the next steps, so before getting to the next steps, I just want to give a good little background. So why these 3? We do. I just get to Molly's permission as well. So we do had like a Blackberry Farm Part 2, but it was because of the criteria didn't fill. Then we basically dropped that one and we took the variant park as one of the item, right? So next steps here.
Repeat that. You had Blackberry Farm and
Blackberry Farm, but it's not that loop. So we didn't find it.
Loop.
Blackberry Farm was originally thrown out as a possible site from the city. And then when we saw the criteria that it was a continuous loop,
Okay, I just didn't understand, so.
Yes. Okay. So just give you a background. So next steps, the Park and Recreation Committee, like now we put very clean report here, but positive facts and that consideration aspects, right? So you guys can maybe rank these proposed parks, what is the best one for benefit for the community, especially for the young family communities. The second item is like obviously you can, this item will go to the city for consideration based on these facts and the ranks. The ranks should be behind these facts, right? Then the third one is like, if approved, obviously the Park and Recreation will coordinate with the Public Works and then Santa Clara County Library and determine the final place for the parking story signage within the selected park. And then the last step will be the Santa Clara County will work with the foundation, Library Foundation for funding and the hardware to install. So these are the ideal next steps that we see. Thanks for this opportunity, and I especially like to thanks Molly and city staff. They were really helpful. And when they were basically giving an option, we were like so excited, like, okay, let's get this, put our facts, right? And then and then they were only suggesting, okay, let's form a subcommittee and then take it forward. So really appreciated all the help we were state, and obviously Quinn was helping a lot, guiding us. So
Thank you. Yeah, so.
Thank you. It's really appreciated.
and one more thing, the Santa Clara County and the Brian is not here and Karen is
Brian,
here. So they're all was basically, it's multi-team effort. We should, like I should give a credit to everyone. Thanks for.
Yeah, this is truly a team efforts presentation, although it was only 8 pages. But like 2 staff from library past Brian, 3 of us, and the 2 of us, 5, and the 3 city staff, right? Molly and the else. Oh, yes.
And our director.
Yeah, all reviewed before we bring the final version here, present to you, yes.
Thank you. So I really appreciate. I think it's really a good collaborative effort. Awesome. So now we'll go on clarifying questions from the commissioners, and then we'll go for a public comments and then to comments from the commissioners. So definitely Commissioner Srikanth has the first question, please.
Just 2 short questions. Thank you, Commissioner Chinpan, and thank you, Library Vice Chair, Committee Vice Chair Shaktivel. This is really good, and thank you, Molly. It was a great effort. I have 2 questions. Question number 1, you proposed 3 parts, of which only 1 will be picked, right? Okay. And my second question is, would there be a change of story frequently, or is it the same story forever?
We change the stories 3 times a year.
3 times. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for all your research and proposal. Amazing.
Any other commissioner have a plan? Yeah, Commissioner Swami.
Where's the funding coming from for this? I mean, it's first of all, it's fantastic. I love the idea, hands down, because you're involved. That's why I was curious where the funding.
The library district, we, I'll say the biggest output for this project is for the, just for the hardware. So all the frames, the installation, and the library district covers it. And then 3 times a year, we change out the stories, so there's purchasing, the licensing for the stories, the
The
materials.
city of Cupertino has no expenditure.
No. There is no cost to this.
Even better. This is just lovely. Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Okay, so.
As following up questions based on yours, why do we have to, after the ranking, why just 1? If it's 3, can we not do them all? I'm just asking.
I will say that there is a pretty big expenditure for the library district. Per location, just for the frames alone is about 15,000. And then, each story, the prices are eking up on us and we're.
And I have a follow-up question then. Why does it really need to be 17 visible frame if it's cost concern? For example, I'm a resident of Cupertino and I always walk my dog at Franco Park. It's smaller, but it's also for smaller kids. And so even though the loop may be super small, the end result of pushing young kids to read early might work as well. So would there be maybe a future consideration for micro parks to be included that would be also less expensive, but still good?
So the 17 frames is tied to the average number of pages in a story, in a picture book. And the average number is about 16. That's why the number of frames is 17. So even if you had a smaller park where, you had fewer frames, it really wouldn't work with a picture book. for a story walk. And that's why this 17 frames is what we are providing to all of our cities. Because that accommodates the greatest number of picture books that we can purchase, that we can select.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any? I have one clarification question. So how did we come up with these three compared to all the parts?
All the
we have?
parts,
What analysis has been done by whom?
Yeah.
And how did you arrive at three?
So I think Molly has the answer for that.
Oh, sorry, all things were pointing.
Yeah,
to-
yeah. It's a team effort, so, you know, so.
I believe that these three were identified by the Director of Parks and Recreation and the Director of Public Works together at the criteria, which is harder than it looks.
I mean, you have Creekside Park that is so wide, there's so many kids and it's pretty huge.
So
It is, and I'm not sure why things weren't selected necessarily. These were the three that were put forward to us.
That's
And I'm sure that there's a variety, I'm sure that there is a reason why, especially I would assume like the soccer that happens on Creekside would be,
I think that's what I was thinking.
yeah,
That may be the mitigating factor.
yes.
Okay, so that's the only question I had it. Any other questions then? Great, so we should still open this also for public comments. And I think it was from previous, I believe, but yeah, staff, please go ahead. If anybody, public.
We have one speaker remotely, Minna. One moment while I bring up the timer.
Oh, hello. Hello. My name is Mina, and I'm currently the chair of Library Commission. But today my speech only represents myself. Yeah, I believe the story work is a very good project. A lot of people worked hard to yeah, try to make it happen. And other than the project itself, it's also aligned with this year's mayor's initiative, like move more. So even if you want to read a book, you can go outside and move more and read the story book. That's a fantastic thing. Yeah, we really hope this project can be launched as soon as possible. And in the other five cities, yeah, the community feedback, yeah, very positive for this such project. And I heard some good question by park commissioner asking about, is it possible we can have more chance? Yeah, so at first, the Santa Clara County Library District picked Ragnar Creek, but the Ragnar Creek turnout doesn't belong to Cupertino City. We have to deal with the Santa Clara water Valley Water District. So then we have to give up that proposal and switch to the three options of Cupertino parks. And if this project turned yeah, welcomed by the community, maybe possibly in the future our city can find some other location to have a similar project like yeah, just someone just mentioned the Creekside Park, or maybe by the trail of the Lawrence Mitty Park, because the long trail along Lawrence Mitty Park that belong to our city. And for the current three location, so my opinion is looks the Varian Park has the least foot traffic. And for the Jollyman Park, I remember a lot of new project keep going to Jollyman Park in past years. Yeah, the good thing is it attract foot traffic, but looks like it keep having new projects. But Wilson Park, actually it's close to some high density housing and close to Stevens Creek, the city center, yeah, with a large population. So yeah, I looks like, yeah, in my opinion, Wilson Park looks pretty good. But anyway, it's up to the Parks and the Rec Commission and the City Council to make the final decision. Yeah, I respect your opinion and thank you so much for, yeah, also show strong interest in this project. Thanks.
Thank you, Minna. We have no remaining speakers, Chair.
Thank you, Mena, for the comment. And since there's no one, so I'll close the public comment and we'll open up for the commissioners to make any comments first, before we understand how the process of voting, right?
So can we describe a process, how we're gonna go?
Yeah,
about
that's
this
what I-
First?
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick
Is there any-
question?
Yeah.
Can we go please back to the presentation for Jollyman Park fact sheet if possible? I'm so sorry.
Sure.
I missed the key
We can.
element.
That's important for our ranking.
11 acres.
Huh?
11 acres.
Okay. But I want to know as far as
The loop.
the loop, the mile loop.
It says 1/3 to half a mile.
No, it's the goal.
So what does that mean? It's smaller than a third? Is that what that?
No, it's longer than a third.
So it's a longer.
Yeah, it's the longest. Among the.
Smaller than 1/3 to a half mile, all these.
Yeah.
No, only that one shows 1/3
No,
to
no,
a half.
it's true for all 3 parks.
So let's, yeah,
It's
But
not
that mention
distinguishing.
is missing. Got it. Okie dokie. Okay.
so you got it.
Yes,
All
thank
right.
you.
Awesome. Okay, so if there are any other comments or anything, then I think I would like to understand the process, right? How we are going to. And before that, maybe I'll make comments. So maybe staff, you said that there was some analysis done by the Public Works and the Park and Rec staff to come up with these three compared to all of them, right? I do not know. So maybe later it'll be great for the commission to see that, so that just for our own education, how those three got selected to, right? Because I do not know. So that's not now,
Yeah.
but it'll be good for us to be in a back, because I'm sure when we go into the public, when this rolls out, the public will ask some questions and we have no idea how to answer. And I cannot say, I don't know. It's the Park and Rec department, others. So it'll be good for us to be an educational side. I would like to request to the Caroline, the staff. So later, we would like to get that report on how this got selected. So it's for our own education purpose. So that's number one. So now we need to go through the process and I have no idea where to start. But yeah, glad, I would like to. Definitely, we need some ideas. But before we go there, based on the experience from the Santa Clara, only because you installed at the other 5 cities, right? And you've gone through this process many times. This is maybe the 6th time you're coming to our city. Just it'll be good even if you just take few minutes, less than 2 or 3 minutes to explain what was the process followed. You might have gone through the similar exercise with others, just for our own educational purpose. If you could just outline 2 to 3 minutes, what was the process? What criteria within these 3 they selected it? Is it like the loop, what like Commissioner Bona asked, or the foot traffic, or the neighborhood number of houses? We don't know, but it'll be good for us to know before we get on to debate here to really choose the. Can you please?
I wish I could tell you that there was the same process by each city. That didn't happen. What I can tell you is from our experience of what is working well and what is not, I do believe one of our parks, the story walk is very long. And when you have families with very little kids, it's challenging. And it's challenging to maintain, honestly. So I'll say on the flip side, Milpitas, they chose a very well-trafficked park, but they chose to put their story walk, to your point about a micro park, they chose to put their story walk just around the circle of the playground. So it is, 1 minute and the kids are done and, they have completed their story walk. So the better solutions, the ones that are more successful, I would say if you want to go over to some of your neighboring cities in Saratoga and in Campbell, Jack Fisher Park in Campbell and then Kevin Moran Park in Saratoga, it's a good distance. It is matching really what your recommended parks are here. It's a good distance for families with little ones. I'll tell you the feedback from our families. Parents, we have new families coming to the parks because of this, because they are introduced to the park because of the story walk. We hold an event to kind of kick things off. families who come to the park really appreciate it because the kids beeline it for the playground. That's where they want to be. They are running around, they're having a wonderful time, but it gives the parents an opportunity to slow the kids down, to take them out of the playground, to walk from page to page of the storybook and engage with their kids in a different way and engage their children, you know, in a different way where they are thinking, they are acting more calm and more focused. And then it gives the parents a chance to just kind of break that cycle. They take them back to the playground, the kids can play some more, but it also is a great opportunity for the families to explore the park. Right? They come, they park, they go to the playground and they leave. This is an opportunity to get them to really engage with the full expanse of the park wherever we put the story walk, right? So,
Okay, no, I think that's good. Thank you. Really appreciate it. So now I think, Commissioner Bono, would like to hear from you. What the process you
I
will
am a
try
very
to propose.
pragmatic person and I don't like to waste time. And I kind of analyze things very quickly. I'll just tell you, for me, Varian Park is out of the way. Why? Because of the tennis court. It's hard for kids or anyone. For me, noise and this and that bothers me on my concentration. So how can you be attracted by a story amidst noises? That's my take. That is me. So I would
I think
select
before,
that
sorry,
one.
sorry, Commissioner Bono, I think I would like to understand, is there any process? I know we will go for
Common
picking and
sense
choose,
process.
but
would
in
be
the
in
process, is there
noise.
any process you suggest, or let's go with like
I would
what
go
you
with
started?
elimination.
Okay. Okay, if the process is-
And a major question. Because to be honest with you, in order to select this, my question that I have is, and maybe you can help out. Does the fact that Wilson Park has near the Regner Trail, are there many families with young kids going to that trail?
No, but they said there are a lot of families close to that park. So I
Yeah,
think
but I
that's
still
what-
want to know whether a lot of families go to the trail. I know it's long, but
So I, live nearby that area, so I do see families, with kids on the trail walk.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if that is and I'm not sure if it's
not major
allowed.
consideration, it's just by the.
Allowed, I have a small video actually, when I visited one of them, I took for the activity, so I know if it's not allowed, it's okay.
Yeah, it's not mentioned, so
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's okay.
public to see,
Okay.
yeah.
For some of them,
So maybe,
don't know what.
yeah, thank you, Ching Ping. I think maybe we'll go with the elimination. Just let me complete this one.
One of the
for me.
quick comments,
So-
one second, is just a very quick, if you want to do the rankings like you did last time for the amount of money, that took a long time. But if you just put these three parts, 5 of us, we'll just one to three, not much discussion. It'll be efficient, then the winners come. Am I right? You just-
No, so I think that's a process you are proposing,
I'm
right? Yeah.
proposing that is one of the
Okay,
processes.
one of the
to do it.
process. Okay, so and I think Commissioner Bono, you said we go by elimination process with the rationale behind why you're eliminating, like you said. You were about to say.
I'm okay
Commissioner.
with any process we decide,
Yeah.
as long as I'm able to say which one is 1, 2, 3.
No, I don't think I want to eliminate anything. I just want to rank 1 to 3.
right.
Yeah.
No, but I'm
Okay,
saying.
so I think his elimination
that we
is
know who's
not
gonna-
eliminating completely, but he's going on how. to
Right,
get
on the opposite way.
Yeah.
I
Because
think
again,
what we can do is
It's a
each of
ranking,
us
1
gives
to
a
3.
ranking with our reason.
Yeah,
why
I
we're
think
doing
that
it.
would help. Thank you.
Yes.
I think that way we can go, what you rank as 1, 2, 3, based on whatever
Yes.
rational it is. And we don't have to go in a deep debate on that one because some of the work has been already done. We will see
Yes.
how far this ranking goes and is there any clear winners coming or again tie? Let's see.
Yes.
Would that be, sorry, Commissioner Sheikh.
So I
Please.
feel that as they were presenting, we all have made some assumptions and decided what we want to propose individually. So I feel that we don't even need to give the reasoning, everyone give their ranking, and then let's see where we stand in common.
reasoning will matter for city council.
Let me, can I please say?
Yeah, please.
So this is the process proposal I'm saying. Let's see where we stand with respect to how they have ranked all these parts at the ranks. If there is a disagreement, then we can come up with discussions.
Sure, any.
A brief description of why your ranking is also okay. It's not a debate. If Commissioner Shrikant or Commissioner Stanhope says something, if I have a different view, it's not like we're going into hours of debate. We just say that here's why I'm ranking.
But I think maybe it can be a two-step process.
Yeah.
It's not going to be such a difficult one. I'm sorry. Vice Chair, you were about to say.
Yeah, so just like, when you asked the question, right, that, what's the criteria that basically, what is a successful storytelling thing, right? I think this slide comes from the Santa Clara Library. All these, like 6 factors, whatever it's here, we may need to, like, these are the criteria that they put.
Can you read them out?
Like one is the young family park, and second is start at the entrance.
I'm sorry, go slow.
Start.
Right.
So if you don't mind, can you just flash that
Yeah.
slide again, Lindsay?
That slide, that one slide.
That slash itself, yeah. You could just make it up a little.
Started entrance, okay.
Can you zoom it a little bit further? Maybe I forgot to bring my
Very
glasses.
huge path.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay.
So this the one.
Hold on.
We try to come up with our own score as well, but we don't want to make you guys biased, so.
That's okay, I think, thank you.
Yes.
Start at entrance.
And the
Oh, I
number
see.
1 is Young Family Park, which really resonates with me.
Okay, well used. Fine.
I guess, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Know your audience. It's for the audience, yeah.
I'm sorry, give me a second, please. I'll just.
That's why it makes it clear what it should be.
Okay, 132 from my room. Okay, so we can go back to Carolyn. Sorry,
I think Commissioner
Commissioner Stanley, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make one comment on the criteria, the young family park, and I think so I'm struggling with that because I think it's for everybody. I think it attracts young families, but especially with Jollyman, where we have our neurodivergent population, and we're trying to make sure that we have opportunities for those people, and that is at Jollyman. And so I think with that, I would just expand that is to those who can really benefit from it.
Yes.
And it's not just young families, it would be,
And-
maybe it's an adult with a limited understanding and someone who can only appreciate something at a second or third grade level, something like that.
I can
Okay.
add, sometimes we can over-program a park.
Yeah.
And other times we can direct new traffic to a new park. So I'd ask for you to take those 2 things into consideration when you're looking at your ranking as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you repeat again, Carolyn?
Well, sometimes we have a tendency to over-program a park where there's just too much going on.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
so many different things. But the other thing I would say is sometimes a park that
That's
has a
so
new
much.
element to it then attracts a new
Got it,
audience.
got it.
So,
I completely concur.
right, so I would.
Okay, that's
ask you
another
to
data
take both of
point.
those into
Yes.
Consideration.
I
Yes.
did make an Excel spreadsheet.
Yes.
Let's
That I,
splash that.
and I don't want you to watch my typing, so if you would mind, we can go one by one and you can rank I have them listed in alphabetical order. I have Jollyman first. I have Varian second, Wilson third. So if you can just let me know 1, 2, and 3, 3, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 1, whatever the case may be.
Absolutely.
And
We're ready.
Yeah.
Self-sorting.
Go back to that.
Marion and Wilson.
Wilson, that's the rank.
Apparently you're number 1
Yes.
on the list.
Right.
I'm used.
So if I can, just call on you so that way I keep it in the order and
I think it's not being shown on the screen anymore.
I know that's on purpose. Let me do my typing and then we'll go from there.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so Commissioner Bono, I have you first. It's Jollyman, Varian, Wilson. So if you can give me your ranking for Jollyman.
1,
Okay, Varian,
3,
Wilson.
2.
Okay, it's deduction. Okay, Commissioner Swami,
Jollyman 3, Wilson 2, Varian 2, Wilson 1.
thank you very much. Commissioner Stanek,
Jollyman 1, Varian 3, Wilson 2.
fantastic. Chair,
Wilson 1, Jollyman 2, Variant 3.
okay, and Vice Chair.
Jollyman 1, Wilson 2, Varian 3.
Okay, I think you guys are going to enjoy this process.
All three, I heard. One, two.
Yes.
That's okay.
So, the way it went, was we have a tie.
Oh, this is exactly what we
Why,
are.
we don't have a type for number one.
One, I mean.
Yeah, so.
I don't see a tie.
It's 1.6, 1.6.
It's the average, because Commissioner Swami made John 3, so it pulled it down.
No, but just a second. So when we do this, again,
That's not a fair way to do it.
no, maybe let me bring it up again. So when we do this, it should be a binary. I'm not sure whether the averaging out will work, because
We can,
if there are 3 ones,
Yeah.
by default, that
Yeah.
gets it.
It should be three, actually, a count should be three, like.
Is it right?
No, I think when there are three, it's called a weighted average. You cannot take the ones get weighted more, because what you're doing, in terms of surveys also, this is not what you're calling as this is a relative ranking. It is not interval ranking. So what you should be doing at this point is what Carolyn has done is exactly right. Now, what I would suggest is variant has clearly gotten eliminated. Now, I think what we can do is talk about and discuss Jollyman versus Wilson.
We can just rank those two.
No, what I'm
Just
saying,
rank
no,
those
not
two.
rank them, but at least talk about why.
I see.
Why-
Okay, no, it's okay. Okay, if that's what everybody agrees with it, I don't have anything specific, but I thought it'll go by binary one.
Yeah.
No, it won't be binary because it's not binary, it's three, and so it's not, it's not equal.
Come on, Shrikant, please.
Yeah, so this is not the right way. That's this way, we are assuming that one is a point for Jollyman, two is 2 points for the for Varian, three is 3 points for Wilson. We have not given those points to those parks. It's the sequencing, it's like numbering. So with that in mind, the way we should see is how many ones Jollyman got, how many ones Varian got, how many ones Wilson got. Based on that, we should come up with the final.
Yeah, I think.
No, I don't
thank
think
you.
necessarily that is true, because in surveys, in Likert scale, that's not, that you're talking about weighting one significantly more than weighting two. That's not true. Because even in elections, when you look at it, sometimes the distant second or the distant third gets it because of split voting. So here it is not, that argument is not valid, because in surveys, when you rank 1, 2, and 3, what Carolyn has done is exactly right.
So just, okay. Let's do, again, my understanding, I
Yes.
understand you were rated. When I say a rank, I thought it's a stack ranking. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Right?
Through the chair, I think you guys are making it way complicated.
That's right.
Because we mentioned 3 times Jollyman, that was 3 out of
Yeah.
5. That tells you the sequencing.
Yeah.
If we're gonna go through the mathematic, I can give you
Hold on.
also a wonderful.
Let's do
Okay.
one
No,
thing.
let's
Let's
wait.
back to what Commissioner Bono said. Let's do one process of elimination. So Varian clearly got eliminated.
Correct,
So we now have Jollyman and Wilson.
correct.
Instead of arguing about the methodology, let's talk about what is the criteria
That's okay.
for, no, we should be able to discuss that. What should be the criteria? And the number one criteria that I see is it should be a young family park. So Jollyman already has so many things going for it. And the other thing I really concur with what staff Carolyn was saying is Jollyman has inclusivity, it has basketball, it has a really good play structure. Wilson doesn't have all of those benefits, so it might be good to push some traffic there as well. But more importantly, think about it. What is the criteria for them? They want traffic of young kids. And Jollyman is surrounded by single family homes. Whereas Wilson has this high density, which tends to be young families going to schools. So if that is the criteria for Santa Clara to be funding this, then we should at least be respectful, because they are giving the money to us, and what's the criteria ultimately?
Yeah, no, I think Commissioner Swami, I agree with you all. Even when I voted,
Yes, I know.
when I voted Wilson as a number 1.
Yes.
Jollyman
And
as
so, do you
2.
disagree with that?
No, sorry, let's, Swami.
One
So
at a
the
time.
reason I put in as well is to see, okay, can I bring in a new item to a park which is deprived of many others?
Exactly.
So that's the reason I voted. When I
Yeah.
say that, when I voted Wilson number one, Jolly number two, vary. But when I go through, that's my individual voting,
Yes.
right? When it collectively, when it comes, I thought we are doing a stack ranking of 1, 2, 3.
We should
That's what I
actually
didn't.
discuss at least, because,
That's okay. So we can discuss. I don't want to disagree it, but I'm trying to find out, is it a stack ranking or average?
Listen.
So maybe remove the variant now. So assuming that, so now Jolly.
Through the chair, the reason why I was saying earlier, the way we, about the trail for Wilson, because at the end of the day, the traffic is the most important component here on the decision maker. Where do we have the most babies or younger?
Wilson is what I heard
Wilson,
from their.
Wilson.
Originally, per data.
Yeah.
No, it's because currently already have an apartment complex right there between, and the future high density housing. It's built also within walking distance to the Wilson Park.
Yeah.
Many like currently the United Furniture Store and, not to mention the high rise. It's all within walking distance of Wilson Park.
So
Yeah.
maybe to answer to that one, just to respond to it when I voted. The reason, another one is that now there is a bridge connecting between the walk trail, what is
The
it?
recreational trail.
And to the park, so I see that kids, people come around because it's too long, what they come and spend time with the kids and go. So this could be an attractive, and there is not much. That's one of the reasons, the rational, to get me picking up Wilson over Jollyman. Again, I'm not saying that you should not the other way.
Point is, where are we getting the most usage,
Yes.
right? And there are kids over there.
Yeah,
And
so
that's why I just felt that with all these criteria and the fact that Wilson has pretty much nothing compared to Jollyman Park.
Got it.
Okay, so
It might
maybe
be a
I
good
want to hear from Commissioner Stan. Please, everyone gets an opportunity. Thank you and go.
Thank you. As I look at what you had for Wilson under the considerations, you said it's tight to fit 17 frames. So that's a concern. Baseball causes a parking issue. That's a concern. I don't think that's an issue as much at Jollyman.
That's not
I
true.
think, that's not true. Excuse me.
Yeah, please go ahead.
On the plus side, you had the community gardens, which is very limited. I mean, how many spots do we have at community gardens there? 8, 15? Okay, and those are mostly adults. I just think, Jollyman, because we've made a commitment to be inclusive, and I understand, I don't think, the way you had it, young families is good, and young families are coming to Jollyman, but again, to provide something to an inclusive population, I think is just so important. And as we look at other programming later, we can look at Wilson for that. But I really think this is an opportunity for us to enhance what we've done with the inclusive, and this is just so important for those people who don't have that opportunity. And that's why I put Jollyman number one, even though it has a lot of things going on there. But I think,
Okay,
it's
no,
big enough
just
to
a
be able
second,
to support
Commissioner.
that.
I'll go away, I'll come to you. So
No.
Commissioner Shrikant, please, she was raising hand.
I am a frequent visitor to Jollyman, and Chair Marapan and myself, we were there at the inaugural function as well when they upgraded it, and you were there too. We see that so many kids and families and adults, they come from outside of that area. So all Cupertino residents go to Jollyman because it's easily accessible, and also it has the inclusive park, and it is newly upgraded, and there are lots of community gatherings happen in that park. So that park attracts a lot of Cupertino residents. Even people from Wilson Park side or the other parks, they come to Jollyman Park these days. So from that angle, Jollyman Park would serve more Cupertino residents than any other park.
But that's also the reason why.
Oh, just a second.
That
Sorry.
you're over-indexing on one park having all the facilities and you're ignoring the other parks. So that's all the more reason to make it more egalitarian. So more people will go to other parks rather than everybody come. Jollyman is a small park, relatively speaking.
I think it's better you have to fund all three. We don't have to fight on this one. At least two, not three. We are so lenient. They're not so greedy.
On my other proposal.
No, just to make it so let's go to Commissioner Bono. Oh, yeah, right.
Commission that Lindsay's trying to state notes. So no, that's fine. If we can just keep to one speaker at a time.
Correct. That's exactly.
That would be helpful. We're already at 10 to 9.
Yeah, we need to close it in
Yeah.
like 5 minutes. Let's go ahead.
I'll just throw you all a curveball, because at the end of the day, yes, Jolman was upgraded, updated, and all of that. That's actually maybe a reason why Wilson should get it, so that if one is super successful on its own, why do we have to bring Disneyland there? We need to bring it to the second one to keep each park a little bit more. I understand everything you're saying about inclusivity, but I don't want to go into exclusivity. It has to be a little bit everywhere, so that offers different parts, opportunities for everyone to survive or to be known for. Therefore, I respectfully change my vote for Wilson #1, Jollyman #2, and Varian #3.
Thank you.
No, I mean, it
Yeah,
has
no,
to be
Because I have the
balanced.
same reasoning.
Okay,
I think
so-
I agree.
I know no, I'm not changing it. So I just went with the same, my original comment on why I picked Wilson is that, okay, we have given, I was part of the Jollyman inclusive, it's all great, it's fantastic. They have enough things to explore for next 1 year or 2 because too many. Wilson is dry. And I wanted to see how it was to help. That's a rationale behind my voting to bring something to Wilson, so do it. And just to make, a lot of people from Wilson will not go to Jollyman except for that one because it's far away for the little one kids to go from there. That's the rationale behind my voting, but I still go with the process. I don't want to influence anything. I just want to state my rationale. But now with this, irrespective of in your new process, looks like Wilson has 1.4. Oh, the lower is the better.
Yeah, Wilson, Jollyman, then Varian, which I believe we've kind of ruled Varian out at this point. It's
Correct. Okay, so I think, I don't, unless otherwise there are any comments, oh, sorry, go ahead, Commissioner Stanek.
So could we, give our recommendation to the council that Wilson is our first and Jollyman is our second?
Yes.
absolutely.
Because you never know, some, another 15,000, you get it for us, or we get it, you can put it on second. They're trying to persuade.
And that we're not recommending variant.
Correct. We are not recommending variant, and we are going with a recommendation. I'm just summarizing it. We're going with the recommendation of Wilson being the first one we picked out of the 3. And if we have more funding, either the city provides or Santa Clara County provides, we'll go to the second as John.
The council could decide something
Yeah,
different, right?
yeah, it is our recommendation.
I think
It's our
important that we know that there was support from the commission for Jollyman as well.
Correct, absolutely. I wanted to make sure. That's a ranking.
Consensus, but we do need a motion.
Motion.
Second, and a
Somebody-
vote. So
I'll make a motion
You need
to
the-
approve Wilson Park as the #1, Jollyman Park as the #2, and Varian as #3.
And I will second Commissioner Bond.
Thank you, Commissioner Schubert.
Staff.
I'd like to,
Oh, there is an amendment. Okay, I think we need to do a second and then you will do another, right? No, she seconded it.
Yeah.
So now looks like there is a substitute motion. So please, Commissioner Stanek.
I would like to make a motion that the commission had the most support for Wilson, had also support for Jollyman, but not as much, and did not support as the location for this.
Okay,
amendment.
so the only, maybe let me rephrase it. So the only
Yeah, I don't
correction is.
disagree with
No,
variant. I'm
no,
not,
just a
actually,
second.
I'm not agreeing. I'm just saying that we're stack ranking. I would like the
No.
storyboards and all of them to have money.
No, I think maybe let me rephrase and please, Commissioner Stanek, help me out on the amended motion is to the same, first and second, but the third, you don't want it even if the money comes or even that's not in the rank.
Well,
Is that?
I think
I
the recommendation to the council is that variant is not a
Suitable at all.
desirable
At all in the
location.
first 3.
Because we didn't really just talk about it that much, but it is in the corner of the city. It's away from, it's not as accessible. It has a lot more downsides. So I think,
Since we don't have money, I'm not going to argue.
well, no, I'm not talking about
all
multiple,
of
but
them.
No,
Yeah, I don't
With
have.
all due respect, if I can make one comment, again, we're here to pick one. There is not a motion, there is not a second or a third on the table, so therefore that comment does kind of make sense, because it's only one that is considered
No, we're
at this
giving
time.
our input to the council.
Right.
Right, and it was, yeah, the request was to rank
Yes.
the three.
My recommendation is
so-
not to say that we don't approve variant, but to
Okay.
say that let's.
So I
keep
think-
it.
I
Yeah.
would say that we provide the council with the vote, that there were 3 votes for Wilson, 2 votes for Jollyman, and none for Varian.
No,
no, I
that's not
think
correct.
I think maybe if I
That is not
correct
correct.
it, which is, sorry.
Can you retract your substitute motion and I'll do a substitute motion?
Yes,
Second
please
substitute.
do.
Okay, I'll make a substitute motion to provide the pros and the cons, but with the comments assigned to it so that it can give council clear understanding as to why we did the ranking.
Yes,
Is it-
and I would like to, I would like propose that you add one more thing, because we don't want variant neighborhood to think that we are ganging up against them. We just are ranking it based on the
Comments will
limited.
take care of
resources.
your comments, because the fact of the tennis
Yes.
court with noise, which will impede concentration on the
Yeah.
storyboards,
Yeah.
is the factor as to
They're saying
why.
it, but they're not saying that if you don't have money, don't put it. Like,
No,
if you have money.
none of that
put
was
it. Yeah.
mentioned.
So,
on my
so
substitute.
we are still in the, okay, we have to make. a
No, I
motion
agree
and-
with his substitute motion. I think it's easier and simpler.
Looks like one more comment and then we will go on the motion.
So looks like clearly Molly said that we are going to just give rank of these three. We're not going to say eliminate Marion or something. So is it enough to just give the council the rank
Yeah.
from Parks and Recs, which is 1, 2, 3, Wilson, Jaiman,
Varian.
Varian. And then I think, and then Library Commission will take it from there.
Which is almost
I
same
think
as,
that.
so just a second, which is similar or
I think
exact
that's
the
what they
same.
asked us to do, and let's do that.
No, let me clarify. That's the same motion originally.
Yes.
you
I'm
passed
just
on.
giving the reasons why we selected with the comments behind it. That is really my motion.
Yeah, if needed, so let's go to that if
So we can
needed.
take
So
seconds.
it is the same motion. So can you repeat the motion again? We will go on the
Like-
second.
And keep it
Let's go.
simple, just,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd like to make a substitute motion.
Can you make
to
just one motion?
provide Wilson Park as number 1, Jollyman number 2, Varian number 3, with the pros and cons, the feedbacks that we provided as to why we came up to that decision.
Excellent. I
You
second
second.
it.
Second, so staff. Let's say yes.
Very
Since
articulate.
this is, okay, maybe let me want to clarify. So there is only one motion and you substituted your own motion. So we just voted on that.
Yeah.
Correct?
On the second substitute.
On the second substitution motion is the only one.
Substitute motion did not get a second,
Yes.
so
This is
this
the
really
motion.
is the substitute motion that.
On the original one we had. So we are voting only on the substitute motion now. So staff will say, please.
Commissioner Bono?
Aye.
Commissioner Stanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Swamy?
Yes.
Vice Chair Streeten?
Yes.
Chair Kamarcom?
Yes,
Motion carries unanimously.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And
Very appreciated, yes.
As we transition, we're also a couple hours into the meeting. If the chair would entertain a 5-minute break of staff.
Why not? Sure.
for the topic especially.
Just note that we're at 9:05, and so I'd like to try and keep, our conversation, focused on topic at hand, so that way we can get through the balance of the agenda. So thank you, Chair.
Excellent, thank you. And before even I say that, I am a very hard stop at 9:30. If it is not, Vice Chair will take over.
Correct.
Thank you. So now we are going back onto the one which we pushed out.
Correct.
Thank you for staying back, staying back. I know it's not, I know we didn't mean anything to put you there to listen to everything. Appreciate it, truly. Thank you. This is the item number 2, Parks and Recreation Department Marketing and Communications. And the recommended action from us is to receive it, listen to it, the presentation on this one, but there's no action item at all, just to listen.
Correct. So
Thank you.
as you know, when you approved your work plan for this year, one of the things that you found of interest and that we would like to deliver to the commission is to have each one of our program areas come in and make a presentation. It helps with your learning. It helps with giving us feedback on how we're doing. And so tonight, we are very lucky to have Brent and Kurt with us here. He is our marketing team, pretty much. So we do have 1.5 folks in that unit. So Brandon is the only full-time employee and does a pretty amazing job. And I think you'll be very impressed with what he has to share this evening.
Thank you.
You're always impressed with that.
Thank you. So good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioner. So I'm gonna walk you through how Cupertino Parks and Recreation uses a coordinating marketing effort, coordinating and marketing effort to reach residents, promote programs and events and guide them from awareness to participation. Okay. So I'll go ahead and start with the recreation schedule, which serves as a cornerstone of our marketing efforts. Published quarterly, the schedule highlights a wide range of classes, programs, and events, and is mailed directly to more than 2,300 residential addresses. In addition to the printed version, the schedule is also available as an interactive digital brochure and is featured in every Parks and Recreation marketing. Each digital edition averages more than 37,000 views, which is up 10% from the same period of the previous year. And sorry, yes, and that average was 33,000 that previous period. Embedded links primarily directing readers to registration pages for programs and events, bringing it to more than 4,400 clicks per edition. This helps residents quickly find and register for activities and events and programs. And that's an increase of 18% from the previous year. Each edition is also downloaded more than 400 times, showing that residents continue to use the schedule as a planning tool beyond the initial mailing or email promotion of it. Now we'll move on to the website. So many of you know we updated our website in December of 2024. So we've had it a little over a year and a half now. We've seen excellent growth across the Parks and Recreation web pages since then. The redesigned layout has helped increase the visibility with Cupertino Parks and Recreation web pages making up 15 of the top 20. 15 of the top 18 if you get rid of those last 2 there. The low bounce rate also suggests that the improved organization and layout is helping residents find activities, events, and services they're looking for on the web page. And over the 12-month period, so this would be May 2025 to April 2026, the Cupertino Parks and Recreation homepage saw nearly 27,000 visitors, which is about 74 visitors a day. Okay. Display marketing. So to amplify the visibility of key programs and events, we use a variety of display marketing methods to reach residents in city facilities, parks, and other community spaces. We leverage the city's internal TV screens in areas like City Hall, Quinlan, and Community Hall. These digital displays feature rotating messages that are updated regularly to highlight current offerings and upcoming events. We also use banners, A-frames, posters, in strategic locations throughout the city. Many of these materials include QR codes, which allow community members to easily access registration pages, event information from their phones. For larger campaigns and events, we place banners in highly visible locations to reach residents as they move through the community. Next is social media. So social media continues to expand our reach, build community interest, and support promotion for parks and recreation programs and events. We maintain an active presence across multiple platforms, including 2 Facebook pages, one dedicated to parks and recreation as a whole, and then one dedicated to McClellan Ranch Preserve. Through Facebook, we also run paid campaigns to increase visibility of key programs and services. From May 2025 to April 2026, the Parks and Recreation Facebook page generated nearly 17,000 clicks, which is up 24% from the previous year. And the page also received more than 10,000 visits, which was up 5, and more than 2,300 interactions, which was up 23% from the previous period. The one metric that did see a little bit of a decline was the number of new page followers we saw. During that period, we saw 435 new followers over a 360-day period, which is down roughly 4% from the previous period. So it's 15-20 people. So pretty close. And then new this year is a dedicated Instagram page. So much like Facebook, Instagram gives us another way to tell the Cupertino Parks and Recreation story, especially through photos, videos, event highlights, and community moments. In its first month, we've generated nearly 2,200 views or 22,000 views, and reached 10,000 accounts. We've received 397 interactions, and all this data is from middle of last month. So just in the last 3 weeks, those numbers have all increased a lot. And email marketing. So email marketing still continues to be one of our most effective tools. Its adaptability, direct reach, and cost effectiveness keeps it highly relevant, and it consistently delivers some of our strongest engagement across all of our platforms. We use email to share the monthly newsletter, promote events, highlight key programs. We also maintain segmented lists for specific audiences, allow us to target message more effectively and efficiently. Currently, we send 2 monthly e-newsletters, one focused on general parks and recreation updates, and one specific for the Cupertino Senior Center. From May 2025 to April 2026, the Parks and Recreation e-newsletter achieved the 82% engagement rate, which is with nearly 15,000 subscribers, an increase of more than 3,000 subscribers from the previous year. Senior Center's e-newsletter has a 72% engagement rate and has almost 1,500 subscribers, which saw its largest jump in this last year. Or largest jump in years this last year. Together, these 2 email lists have some of the highest engagement rates in the entire city for our email list, with the only exception being the block leader, and that's only got 100 people and was very engaged. So, in addition to the monthly newsletters, we send targeted emails to specific groups. So if we got a team event, we're sending an email to teams that we have. If we have, say, food fund, we're emailing past food fund participants to let them know that a future date's coming up.
Next slide. Under teens, you got 1,840 subscribers. It says it's up 3,043, which is.
Oh, that is definitely a typo. I don't have that number. Is that?
This looks like it got pulled over maybe.
Yeah.
Column.
Yeah, so the team list, the big number's correct, the smaller number, if off the top of my head, typically that list grows by a couple hundred each year.
That sounds
We also use a couple hundred each year with kids going to college and stuff like that, so.
Calculating the engagement rate,
Through,
engagement rate.
so that's if it's.
No, can we just, can we? Yeah, we can finish it, then we'll come to that.
Oh. Okay. Okay, so next is specific to adult 50+ outreach. So for adult 50+, we use a mix of print, digital, email, and bi-monthly communication tools to share senior center offerings. The 50+ scene is included in the quarterly recreation schedule, so part of that printed and digital version, and that's mailed to the 2,300 residents. And this, having it in the recreation schedule, helps keep the senior center programs visible to a broad community. Not just the 50+ population. It also, so it's also available online as a digital magazine. In August 2025, we mailed targeted membership postcard to 2,600 Cupertino residents that have adult 50+ living in them, just before this Cupertino Senior Center annual house. So the goal of this was to introduce or reintroduce the center to the 50+ community and hope that they would stop by and see what's new at the senior center. That outreach is supported by monthly newsletters, registration, event reminder emails, bi-monthly calendar, bi-monthly activity schedule, social media posts, programs and member experience. So next we'll go to that each marketing channel has its own role, but the goal is all the same. So it's helping residents move simply from becoming aware of an opportunity to actually participating in an opportunity. And really coming back and participating in more future activities that we offer. I'll go back one. Oops. Two, go back. There you go. Okay, so next we're gonna go through awareness. So through awareness, we make sure residents know what's available to them. So this is tools like the recreation schedule, signage, social media, the website. This helps us highlight highlight and reach people where they already are. So whether they're seeing it online or walking into a facility, they're seeing it posted in their feed. We want the residents to see the program and event and think that that looks interesting to them, or they didn't know that the city offered that. So after awareness, we look at building interest. This is where strong visuals, program pages, and emails features become important. We're also not just telling people that something exists, we're giving them a reason to care and show why it's worth their time. And then next is registration. So once someone is interested, we want to make sure it's as easy for them to join us. This means direct links, QR codes, call to actions, reminder emails. So making it as easy for them to sign up and participate with us as they possibly can. Okay, and then next thing is a strong experience. So this is by far the strongest marketing tool that any agency can have. So this is after you have a great experience, it's following with post-event communication, photos, storytelling, helping keep the residents connected beyond that initial program. Overall, each of these channels don't act as separate efforts. They work together to guide residents through the same journey with the goal of creating a positive experience with Cupertino Parks and Recreation, whether it's a camp, an activity, and then hopefully they take something else with us. And then by continuing to invest in consistent coordinated marketing, more residents will discover and participate in the Parks and Recreation program. And that concludes my presentation.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And really, a lot of numbers are popping up in a big way. So thank you. Any clarification questions from the commissioners?
I just want to know how are you calculating the engagement rate?
So it's a bunch of different metrics, whether it's opened, if it's a unique open, if it's open multiple times, how many things are being clicked on, if it's so there's a lot of different like
Vintage community.
yeah. So I can pull all that data and then basically take a look at it and I'll get kind of what the like engagement rates for each one is.
Engagement is very high, impressive. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no clarification questions, is there any public comments?
We have no speakers, Chair.
Thank you. Now I'll close the public comments and any other comments from the commissioners.
I'll just make one very brief. It's nice to see the pickup and I'm part of that engagement because I live on Instagram. So I'm part of that solution, but no, congratulations. It looks like it's there. The interest is there. Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Thank you. Again, overall, it's fantastic. I don't know, it's a one-man army, they say, or one person, 1.5 person, and still it is amazing. So thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you bringing more awareness and connectivity to the community. Thank you. And now the staff and commission reports. I know last time we did differently, but this time I need to go through it. First, it goes with the staff report, and then only it goes on the commission report. So staff.
You have a leave at 9:30, you may want to flip them.
Right. I don't want to follow the process. I'll skip mine. So staff, okay.
We do.
Okay.
Thank you. Sure. Yes. Okay, fantastic. Thank you for the opportunity to give you a few updates since we last met. I'll go through these quickly. I know that, we are going pretty late here. So first things first, since, our last meeting, the council did take action on April 7th related with the Commissioner's Handbook. So although you went through a training a few months back, there were some updates to the handbook, and that's been sent out to all of you in an email on Friday, May 22nd. I'm hopeful that you've already had the chance to take a peek at it and look at the revisions that have made. Specifically, there's been revisions in the sections related with commissions, membership, future agenda setting, recommendations and reports to city council, and use of city email. There's also been new sections added on commission administrator, alternate members, board representation, hybrid meetings and remote participation, as well as the work plan. So if you haven't already read through that, please do so. And if you have questions, it would be best to take those offline and you can ask them directly to me. And then I'll make sure that you have what you need to move forward and to work within the structure that the council has approved for all of our commissions. So thank you for that. Then I wanted to jump into some things that are happening now that it's officially summer, maybe not on the calendar, but from a perspective of weather and kids being almost out of school. But Blackberry Farm is open for the season, and you can visit cupertino.gov/BBF calendar to see the full range of lap swim, recreation swim, swim lessons, picnic hours, and all of the things that are being offered there this summer. Next, I'm pleased to announce that the summer concert series is back. We'll be kicking off the series on Thursday, June 11th. The series does go until August 20th, and all of the concerts are held at the Memorial Park Amphitheater. Those take place from 6:30 to 8, and we have a wide range of bands that will be attending, whether you're into classic rock, blues, whatever tickles your fancy. It will be pretty much offered this summer, and you can check out that schedule online. Again, that's cupertino.gov/summer concert. Then this weekend, we have Splash Bash. This is something being hosted by the Youth Activity Board. It's a fun field day planned for youth and teens. It's meant to kind of kick off the summer. School ends tomorrow for many of the schools in and around the area. And it's kickoff to some summer fun. It will take place on Sunday, June 7th from noon to 3 here in Memorial Park. And it's going to include some water balloon activities, some inflatables, some games, and for teens, Kona Ice is available for free for the first 50. So not for adults, but for teens. We also have an intergenerational activity planned for Saturday, June 13th at Blackberry Farm Golf Course. It's called Golfing 4 Generations. Get it? 4. So it's designed for folks ages 5 and up for all skill levels, and it's meant to be a unique tournament with an alternate format than what you're used to make it so that way it's even for youth and older adults. Registration is still being accepted at regforrec.org. Next, we have Disco at Dusk. This year, this multi-generational event, it has a Hollywood theme. The event's taking place on Friday, June 26th from 6:30 to 8 at Community Hall. Each guest is going to receive a pair of wireless headphones with 3 channels that are playing different movie style themes. There'll be 70s and 80s. 90s to 2000, and then 2010 to present day. So you could switch the channels throughout the evening to find your groove. There'll be glowing lights and all sorts of fun stuff for folks of all ages. Again, this is an intergenerational activity Friday, June 26th from 6:30 to 8. Registration is at regforrec.org. And definitely our flagship event of the year is right around the corner on the 4th of July celebration. And as everyone is aware, this is our birthday, 250th years. So very exciting to be celebrating that here in Cupertino. The day will start with a pancake breakfast here in the building at Quinlan from 8 to 11, and that's hosted by the Optimist Club of Cupertino. Following breakfast, folks will head out into Memorial Park for a flag raising ceremony, a children's parade, and children's activities that will begin around 10 near the Veterans Memorial. This year, we're also bringing back swimming at Blackberry Farm Pool from 10 to 5. And then there'll be a concert at 10:30. The band is Fire Peach, and they'll be performing in the amphitheater at about 10:30. There'll also be some children's games and that sort of thing going on in the park. Of course, what everybody will be waiting for is the fireworks celebration that evening. It will start at approximately 9:30, and we'll have the same three viewing sites as we've had in recent years. That'll be Creekside, Sedgwick Elementary School, and then Miller Avenue near Bollinger Road. So to learn more about this event, cupertino.gov/July 4. Next, I want to share with you that we will be hosting another Cupertino campout. This is a July event. Since we are not meeting in July, I have a couple July things just to throw out there. So Cupertino campout is Saturday, July 18th, beginning at 4 p.m. and it goes until Sunday, July 19th at 10 a.m. This event takes place at Creekside Park. And it's an opportunity for folks that maybe want to be introduced to camping or don't have the ability to go too far. Kind of a introduction to camping and a night under the stars filled with recreation activities throughout. It's a great way for, family, neighbors to gather and to meet new friends. And our staff will be programming things to make sure that it's a memorable evening for folks. For this event, pre-registration is required and registration will take place at cupertino.gov/campout. Also a July/early August activity is Shakespeare in the Park. It too will take place in the Memorial Park Amphitheater for the production of Antony and Cleopatra. And there's multiple dates, July 25th and 26th, and August 1st, 2nd, 8th, and 9th. All of those will take place at 6 p.m. in the amphitheater. And then because the Movies in Park will start right as we are gathering next in August, I wanted to share with you that we do have 4 movies planned, August 7th through August 28th. They're all on Friday evenings. That too will take place at Creekside Park starting at 8 p.m. The movie lineup includes Goat, A Bug's Life, Freakier Friday, and Superman. And then hopefully all of you got the email sent regarding the Cupertino Community Service Awards. I'm highlighting it here because I wanted to make sure that you marked your calendar for Wednesday, October 28th. We don't have additional details quite yet. The period for seeking nominations or applying for folks that might be interested does close July 7th, and you can find all that information online should you choose to nominate somebody. But for the actual awards banquet, we should have more information next time we meet. And then last but not least, we are in full get ready for summer mode. Most camps start on Monday, June 8th. We have a full list of camps available at cupertino.gov/camps. And then we will be closed as a city on Friday, June 19th in observance of Juneteenth. We'll have our normal operating hours on that day, however, at Blackberry Farm Golf Course and at the Cupertino Sports Center. And last but not least, it's important to note that we will not be meeting on July 2nd. We will be up to our eyeballs in July 4th prep. And I know many of you travel during that time frame as well. So our next meeting will be Thursday, August 6th at 7 p.m. So that concludes the staff report for this week.
Thank you. I need to take off and I'd like to request the vice chair.
Okay, can you just
April.
share the script with her so we can?
Yes, I'm
finish
just
strong?
keeping it there and
Fantastic.
keeping it there and so right there.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you so much.
There are 60 people waiting on the Zoom sound. So from here.
Okay.
You can start.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
all right. Thank you, staff. Now it's time for our commissioner reports. Your turn to highlight any Parks and Recs department facilities you may have visited. Share any Parks and Rec activities you have attended. Bring light to any city activities you have volunteered at, or any involvement you may have had pertaining to the commissioner role since our last meeting. Commissioner Bono,
Nothing to report.
myself, nothing to report. Commissioner Stanek,
I was out of the country.
Commissioner Swami.
Just went to a bunch of parks. It was really nice. I think particularly John's beautiful. Really upgraded as a street side. Both these parks have had a lot of love and they're doing thriving and the community is really benefiting.
Awesome. Any comments? Future agenda setting.
Actually, I do have one comment. In the future agenda setting, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this next one, but I think Minna brought up the point that, can we know the status of Lawrence Smithy because she's been bringing me regularly. That might not be a bad idea to get that report.
So I will note on that we do have, I'm looking at our schedules so that I get it correct. So obviously at our last meeting, we had information about the CIP and we had information about the different projects pending, which we got an update regarding Lawrence Smitty at that point. We will have later in the year, our Public Works Department coming to talk about facilities, grounds and trees. If there's an update at that time, I can have them include that. But I would say, for now that, your most recent update is pretty much where we're still at.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I have a question for staff. When are community grants going to council?
They're going the same night as the fiscal year 26-27 budget, which is June 16th. Right, and I've worked it out with the chair that he will be present. That doesn't preclude any of you from, attending as well. But he will be available should there be any questions or comments on behalf of the council for the commission.
June 16th,
Correct.
6 p.m.
6:45.
I was just gonna say, I'd have to double check the time.
It's regular
but-
council meeting, 6:45.
Yeah,
And my other question would have been, I would have suggested that we put on the agenda the pickleball policy, but it sounds like it's going straight to council without us having an opportunity. They haven't even put on
No,
that.
so it's not an agendized item, so it's a little difficult to have that conversation here tonight, but I will remind you that that's an operational item. And that the sound attenuation portion of that is something that was brought to this group. And that council will be making a decision on at the June 16th meeting. So following that decision, and or any input that the council has, then we'll determine what the appropriate next steps are.
Anybody has any other comments, questions? All right, adjournment. Our meeting is now coming to an end. I want to thank everyone for coming to tonight's meeting. And I'm thanking on behalf of Chair Kumarapan as well. As a reminder, there is not a July meeting. Our next Parks and Recreation Committee meeting will be on Thursday, August 6th at 7 p.m. here in Twinland conference room. And I now adjourn the meeting at 9:34 p.m.